Greetings, my beautiful IP Resilience family and friends. And I hope today you woke up with a great attitude, with a great dreams, with something greatness inside of you that you wanted to go and change the world. And praise God that I keep finding these amazing people who are actually reaching out to me right now to share the story so you will gain hope. You will gain the dreams that you wanted to accomplish. And so you will have some kind of tools to keep you going. And in front of me, I have an amazing person, and she's Amna Gull, and she's a founder and a CEO of Gool of Greatness. So, hi, Amna, how are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
So tell us more about what you do. So you're the founder of this greatness, and I wanted to let us know why do you do that? What prompts you to go to this direction, and how you achieved where you achieved right now?
Yes, absolutely. Wow, where do I begin? My journey, I would say, started about almost a decade ago now. And when I started with my fertility struggles, up until that point, I lived a very textbook life of, going to university, getting a degree, getting married, having kids. So I had a son, and then I had a miscarriage, and then another one. And then it kind of started off from there. And after a series of multiple miscarriages, one of them led to quite serious emergency life-threatening surgeries, multiple surgeries. I started doing a lot of hormonal treatments for fertility and IVF. And finally, I had success with those. And it wasn't up until I had my second son that I experienced major health crisis that completely changed core of my whole entire existence. I suffered quite severe medical complications at the birth of my second son, and everything that you can think of that goes wrong, went wrong. I almost lost a few organs, and I almost permanently had permanent damage to some of my organs. I came back from dead. Basically, doctors kept telling me how surprised they were that I still made it, and they were ready to call me dead. So after coming back from that, it unfortunately didn't stop for me there. It kind of went on. It was just a series of one complication that led to another complication, kind of like a domino effect of health complications. And it was just like going into a negative spiral. And instead of getting better after giving birth to my son, I was just getting worse day by day. After I got out of intensive care unit, finally came home, and I wasn't able to hold my son for a few weeks. I think it was a month went by when I was finally able to hold him. And it was mainly because I had no strength initially to even move my arms. And then finally, when I got some strength to move, I remember having so many tubes coming in and out of my body in different places that, something was hurting. Every time I moved, something would hurt. So that made it a little bit difficult for me to bond with my son. And then I started feeling that something was going wrong with me again. And I would go to the doctors and ask them to check what's going on with me. And they'll just send me back saying, look, you've gone through a lot, so just go back and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And I wasn't fine, I knew. And then it turned out, after much perseverance, I had them do all sorts of tests. And it turned out that I had developed a very rare complication that women do in cases like these. And I was just in physical pain every day. I was bleeding every day. And it was just the whole thing went from, something that was meant to be joyous and beautiful and to celebrate. It just went completely the opposite way. And I remember I was at that point, it was just the lowest point in my life. And I needed another very complicated surgery, which I didn't even know if it would be successful or not. And I had to wait for 3 months before that surgery. And I remember one day just hysterically crying in my room, and my older son, who I wasn't able to be there for him emotionally, and not even for my little baby. And that was just, the pivoting point for me. And then I just thought, okay, now stop crying. And now you need to decide, what is it that you want to do about it? I think it was just one of those moments when something inside you just like switches and just makes you think, okay, this has happened. Now, what is it that you want to do about it? And I I remember clearly deciding at that moment that I was going to get my life back. And no matter what happens, I was going to be happy again. I was going to be a healthy mom again and just enjoy my life. I wanted life to feel good again. And so I kind of went on a mission. And even though at that time I was completely drenched in anxiety and I would have panic attacks, and I had like really bad depression, but I remember clearly just going on internet and just going on this crazy search to look for things that would help make me feel better. And even though I had a lot of family support to take care of me and my home and my kids, but all the internal work at my emotional health, my spiritual health, my mental well-being, that was all down to me. No one could make me feel better if I didn't want to feel better. So I went and I tried anything and everything that I could find on the internet, on YouTube. I ordered books and I talked to as many people as possible. And I remember by the time it was time for my surgery, 3 months later, I walked into that surgery not knowing if I was going to be healed or even or partially healed, if they would be able to fix my problem. But I walked in there happy and knowing that no matter what the outcome is, I'll be okay. And it was that knowing that I will be okay no matter what, that was so empowering to me. And I just held on to it, and I went through the surgery, and it went okay. It was successful. There was so many things that had to go right, and every one of those things went right. And I just kept my focus on the fact that for my body to heal, I need to give it good environment, which means I need to give my cells happy environment to thrive in and flourish in. And this is what I did. I focused on visualizing a healthy version of myself with my family, and I just held on to that, and I did God knows what else. Everything I tried. And even after that, after the surgery, it took my body time to heal. It took me time to come back to my normal self, because there was a lot of flashbacks I would have that would just set off my anxiety again. So it took me some time to come back. But when I finally came out of it, I was a lot happier than I'd ever been. I was the best version of myself at that time that I had ever been. And people who had seen my journey, they would ask me, what did you do to come out of that place? Because a lot of people do get stuck there, and, they can't come out of there without going into a deep depression. And I couldn't really pinpoint just one thing, because I tried so much on myself, anything and everything. I would tell people all these different things, and they will get overwhelmed by how much work that I'd done on myself. And I thought, what a shame if only there was like a easier way of me to help people out, and so they can see and experience what I've experienced. And then I came across this particular school where I've studied my neurolinguistic programming, NLP, from. It's actually called Transformational NLP, because it's very different from conventional NLP. It's like NLP on steroids. It's so my mentors, they take a very holistic approach to healing, human healing. And And it's dealt with a lot of respect, and that really resonated with me. And since the day I found it, I've never looked back. I've loved every minute of it. It's become my passion, and I absolutely just love doing this every day with people, and just making people see that, we all have greatness within us. We have the power to change how we experience things in our lives, and no matter what life throws at you, it's all about your perspective. And if you can change your perspective on things, then you can change your experience of it entirely. And that's why I do what I do.
And this is such a powerful message that you have put. And I know that nothing comes out, or you cannot do anything unless you're passionate for. And that's what you are. You have your why, you have your journey. And I cannot even imagine as a mother not being able to hold your child as they were born, because it's the first thing that mother wants to do, the touch of your baby, and the baby to touch you, because that's when we produce oxytocins. And this is the hormone that makes us feel loved. We need the touch. We need that warmth of the baby in our lives as a mother. We need that. And I cannot even imagine, but I commend you for coming out of that mental state of everything is going to go bad, no matter what I try, for you to switch that in you and program your mindset into no matter what, it's going to happen. I'm going to do it no matter what. And your journey of going from being such in a depressed moment in not being able to touch your child into what you're doing right now, how you change people's life, and how passionate you are, it's absolutely amazing. I want you to take this moment and to speak to the mother who is going through the same thing. I know there's like small percentage of women, mothers who are giving the birth, who are going through the struggles after it. And most of us, we're going through some kind of depression too, right? Postpartum depression, that is also part of a fact. But mostly speak to the mother who is struggling right now, who cannot hold their baby, who came out and, like you said, doing something great, but you feel something bad about it. Speak to her right now.
I would just say that, no matter how alone you feel in that moment, you are not alone. Absolutely not alone. And there's, no matter how impossible things feel in that moment, just remember that just because something is not available for you right now, it doesn't mean that it will not be available to you. So if feeling good is not available to you right now, if being able to make that connection with your child is not available to you right now, excuse me, it doesn't mean that it won't be available to you in the future as well. It's our current state of mind. When we are in it, when we're in the thick of it, it feels like it's infinite, eternity, it'll never end. But things always change. Things are constantly changing. We don't even have to do anything. We're always changing in every moment. Now it's up to us if we want to direct that change into one direction or another. So if we make an intention and we hold on to it, and then we make sure that we are moving towards the outcome that we want. So I would say, ask yourself it's two things. It's a two-step process that I do every time I find myself in a position when I'm stuck. The first thing I say is acknowledge where you are. Acknowledging is not the same thing as accepting something. It's simply saying, okay, this has happened to me. And then you acknowledge it. And if you need to scream, scream. If you need to cry about it, but acknowledge it and just let it sink in. And the second step is asking yourself this really important question. Now, what do I want to do about it? And it's this question that takes you out of that victim mentality of why did this happen to me, and puts you on a path to progress and, you know, work your way out of the situation that you're in. So when you ask yourself, what do I want to do about it now? That's when things just start to shift and move. And we don't even have to understand ourselves fully for the changes to start happening. We just need to know where we stand. So then we can start moving from onward from that point. So I would say acknowledge where you are. What is it that you don't like about your life right now, about your situation right now? And then ask yourself, what is it that I would like to do about it? And, you know, there's plenty of help available for out there. I firmly believe that there's someone for everyone out there that could find them some kind of guidance, help, or support.
You are not alone, ladies, mothers, and there's a help available for you. And Amna, we cannot thank you enough for the journey that you have shared from your heart and not from your just mind. You've been there, and you're guiding everyone, every woman who's struggling right now to the same path, because you care. You want to make this place a better place to live for every mother, for every child. And you mothers out there, please know that you're a valuable vessel of God, that God values you too. So instead of saying, why it happened to me, use that moment, acknowledge that, accept. You don't have to accept that, just acknowledge the situation and ask yourself, what can I do better? Because you are you are unique, you are God's masterpiece. We want to thank you, Amna, for being with us, for sharing with us such a pivot moment, such a heartfelt moment that you went through to encourage another woman, another mother out there. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was a treat.
Thank you, IP Resilience family and friends. Please subscribe, like, and share, and follow our special guest. That was Ilona. See you next time.